What if the predator hunt didn't end in the arenas of the Grendel King? What if it just shifted to another battlefield soaked in blood and broken by war? What if the predator's deadliest hunt didn't happen in the future, or even in the jungle? What if it took place in the middle of the American Civil War, deep in the misty Ozarks, where muskets clash, cannons roar, and legends like Jesse James walk the battlefield? Predator, Hell Come a Walkin' is the brutal, blood-soaked side story you've never heard of, but it might just be the missing chapter between Killer of Killers and the Predator's wider legacy. Welcome back to your nerdy show. I'm your host, Spoiler Master. In this video, we're breaking down how this forgotten two-issue comic brings together real history, alien horror, and one of the most badass final showdowns in Predator lore. This isn't just a hunt, it's war. Let's get into it. Jesse James, the war, and the first kill. The story opens in the misty Ozark Mountains, where a squad of Confederate soldiers awaits the arrival of a young Jesse James. Yes, that Jesse James, the future infamous outlaw, still just a rebel guerrilla fighter. But before Jesse even arrives, the Predator strikes, massacring the unit in a matter of seconds. It's the first taste of carnage, and like Killer of Killers, it shows how seamlessly these alien hunters insert themselves into our darkest moments in history. When Jesse James finally arrives with his comrades Nebediah and Standing Bear, a Native American tracker, the trio finds only slaughter. They barely have time to take it in before running into a Union platoon, led by Captain Riggs and Lieutenant Hendricks, transporting a cannon through the dense woods. The encounter quickly turns violent. Nebediah opens fire and kills Riggs, and Hendricks blames himself for giving away their position. In an attempt to retrieve Riggs's body, Hendricks is shot and knocked unconscious. Ghost stories in the woods. Hendricks wakes to find himself under the care of Spartacus, an African-American Union soldier, and Brubaker, a German immigrant everyone calls Dutch. The three form a fragile bond, trading stories about how the war and conscription ruined their lives. These character moments flesh out the emotional core of the story, and just like the character dynamics in Killer of Killers, they show us how humanity's real battles are often with each other until a true predator arrives. Meanwhile, Jesse and his team try to make sense of the massacre. Standing Bear warns them about a cannibal spirit that haunts the Ozarks, a tale filled with fire, blood, and shadow. While Jesse mocks it as superstition, there's unease growing. The legend sounds a lot like something they can't explain. That unease turns to panic when Jesse spots a silhouette, inhuman, stalking them from the trees. Jesse James versus Predator. The lines between enemies are erased when Standing Bear is obliterated by a plasma caster blast. The first clear, unmistakable strike from the Predator. It's fast, unseen, and merciless. In the wake of the death, Jesse convinces the Union troops to unite with him and Nebediah. This is no longer North versus South. It's man versus monster. What follows is a tense, forest-set manhunt. Jesse, Spartacus, and Nebediah attempt to flush out the Predator, drawing it toward the Union's heavy artillery. In a brutal moment, echoing the betrayals and deaths in Killer of Killers, Neb saves Spartacus from a bear, only to be decapitated by the Predator. The kill is fast and mean, establishing this alien as every bit as deadly as the Grendel King's arena warriors. There's a key shift here. The Predator isn't just killing, it's studying, stalking, escalating. Just like in Killer of Killers, there's a twisted sense of sport. This hunter isn't content to kill Jesse and his allies from afar. It wants a challenge. It wants drama. The Union cannon, a relic of human warfare, becomes the centerpiece of their plan to stop the Predator. But the alien doesn't fall for the trap. Instead, Lieutenant Hendricks sacrifices himself in a heroic moment that's as noble as any of the gladiator standoffs in Killer of Killers. He charges the Predator, forcing a point-blank cannon blast. Hendricks is vaporized. The Predator, barely wounded. Then comes the final showdown. Dutch readies for a last stand, only for Jesse to strike from the shadows, impaling the Predator with the American flag before finishing it off with a pistol shot to the skull. It's poetic, grim, and glorious. The symbolism of the flag is heavy. America torn apart by war, finally uniting for a second to kill something truly monstrous. But Hell Come a Walkin' isn't interested in happy endings. Jesse, Spartacus, and Dutch bury their dead and prepare to part ways. That's when Jesse's brother Frank arrives with Confederate reinforcements and demands Spartacus and Dutch be taken prisoner. Jesse refuses. At gunpoint, he forces Frank to stand down, letting the two Union soldiers go. In a bittersweet goodbye, Jesse and Spartacus declare they will still be enemies in this war, but they'll carry mutual respect for surviving the hunt. Why this story matters. What makes Hell Come A-Walkin' work so well as a sequel or side story to Killer of Killers is its structure and tone. In Killer of Killers, we saw warriors from vastly different cultures thrown into a cosmic arena by the Grendel King. The implication was that the predators had been hunting across centuries, across continents. Hell Come A-Walkin' fills in a possible missing chapter. A predator arriving on Earth between the Yautja segment and the futuristic hunt. Thematically, both stories explore the idea of honor. The Grendel King gives humans a chance to prove themselves in combat. The Predator in 1864 chooses worthy targets, escalating its violence only when it sees valor in its prey. And like the Grendel King, it wears trophies. It fights not just to kill, but to witness. It's a perverse mirror of war itself, and its presence in the Civil War setting makes that point even sharper. There's even a twisted parallel between the Grendel King's arena and the forest battleground in the Ozarks. One is high-tech and grandiose, filled with alien beasts and ritual. The other is grounded, gritty, soaked in the blood of men who already saw too much death, but the results are the same. Brutal contests where survival demands sacrifice. The predator in Hell Come A-Walkin' might not be named, but it holds its own against the Grendel King's champions. It decimates armed troops, survives a cannon blast, and nearly kills Jesse James himself. Its design, more primal, raw, and monstrous, feels like a perfect mid-step between the classic jungle predator and the more ritualistic warlord predators. The comic also ties into real history. Jesse James was indeed a Confederate guerrilla, and his post-war infamy fits perfectly into the aftermath of the story. The idea that he was forever changed by an encounter with something not of this world gives his legend a mythic quality. Even more interesting is that this idea was foreshadowed in pop culture. A fake Jesse James vs. Predator comic appears in a 1993 Tales from the Crypt episode, showing just how long this story has been brewing in the shadows. The hunt never ends. It also lays groundwork for potential new directions. If Killer of Killers was the proving ground for the Grendel King's elite warriors, Hell Come A-Walkin' could show what happens when a rogue predator breaks from the clan and sets out on its own hunt. Maybe it was exiled. Maybe it came to Earth for its final challenge. Or maybe, like the Grendel King, it was scouting for more worthy prey to bring back to the Colosseum. That idea gains traction when you consider the ending of Killer of Killers, where Ursa is put back in suspended animation alongside other human champions, including Praise Naru. Perhaps Jesse James was once among them. Perhaps this comic isn't just a forgotten side story. Maybe it's canon waiting to be confirmed. Predator. Hell Come A-Walkin' doesn't just add blood to the timeline, it adds texture. Humanity's conflicts are already terrifying, but when something even worse shows up, we see what people are truly made of. Whether it's a Japanese samurai, a Norse shield maiden, a WWE pilot, or a Confederate outlaw, every one of them becomes part of a grand cosmic game. And in that game, the Yautja and their twisted kings are always watching. The hunt never ends. Not in jungles, not in war zones, not even in history itself. Our nerdy thoughts. So what do you think? Was Hell Come A-Walkin' just a forgotten gem or a vital missing link in the Predator's timeline? This brutal Civil War chapter might not have arenas or alien beasts, but it delivers the same heart-pounding hunt, brutal kills, and powerful themes that made Killer of Killers unforgettable. And if Jesse James really did survive a predator, who else from history did too? If you enjoyed this dive into the blood-soaked Ozarks and the twisted honor code of the Yautja, don't forget to like the video, subscribe for more Predator lore deep dives, and ring that notification bell so you never miss a hunt. Until next time, stay sharp, stay hidden, and remember, the hunt never ends.
No, what the heck, I'll laugh anyway.